Well, it's time to give an update on this pen of calves we've been feeding out. I made a video back, I think a week after we weaned them, and kind of gave some details on what they weighed and how they did. They've been weaned for about, I think close to 60 days now. I think it's been almost 2 months. About 2 weeks ago they got weighed. It was about 43 days, I think it was, after weaning. We weighed everything individually and compared that weight to their weaning weight, individual weaning weight, and calculated up their average daily gains and how much they weighed and average for the pen. The average for the pen, I think there's 32 or 33 head in here, so average for the pen was 2.8 pounds a day over 43 days post weaning. The steer calves averaged 3 pounds a day, and the heifer calves averaged about 2.4 to 2.5 pounds a day. That's extremely good growth for immediately post weaning. Extremely good growth. The balancer calves in here, the solid black ones, they averaged 667 at that time, and I think the baldies averaged 705. There was a slight advantage gain-wise to the balancers, but overall the balancers and baldies averaged extremely close on their average daily gain. Historically, looking back at my records, that's pretty right on with what these have done over the last 4 years. Historically, the baldies and the balancers generally gain pretty close to the same, with a slight advantage to the balancers for the first 35 to 40 days after weaning. And then after that, the balancers actually usually take over and will usually outgain the baldies. Kind of seems like they almost just stall out for some reason, and their growth really falls off. And even though the baldies had a better advantage at weaning time for weights, by the time we sell these things, about 90 to 100 days after weaning, the balancers will actually have caught up to them in weight, and they'll weigh nearly the same. This group has had the best post-weaning gain in the 4 years that I've been keeping good records. I think last year was just a little over 2 pounds a day, and this year was 2.8. We've done a lot of heavy culling, getting rid of calves that don't grow or wean little. But I'm just extremely impressed with this pen. The balancers especially. They're some really good looking calves. In fact, this guy here, if he'll stop, is a pretty decent calf. Here's a nice heifer that'll be a keeper heifer. Kind of in a dark spot here, but that little heifer there at 700, she is out of our balancer bull, but she's also out of a Jersey cow. We keep a Jersey milk cow around to use on baby calves that have problems or lose mothers or twins. Rather than bottle feeding, we'll use a Jersey milk cow, and that was actually her calf out of that balancer bull last year. Pretty nice little heifer for being half Jersey, really. That guy right there is a nice. See, yeah, 737. He is just packed with muscle. He might be a little fleshy, but he's been gaining 737, I think, was gaining close to 3.5 pounds a day. He's really putting on the weight. But when we last talked, I had pointed out, I think we were feeding crabgrass hay, some high quality, 11% crude protein crabgrass hay. And I still have been until now. And these 2 bales were just some fescue hay that we baled this fall. So it's relatively fresh. I didn't test it, but I think it's halfway decent. Probably better than 7% just based upon how well the cattle are eating it. But these things have been growing so fast, and some of them have gotten a little fleshy on me, that I'm going to cut back the quality of the hay for just a little bit. After these 2 bales are gone, I'll put out a couple bales of crabgrass again and just kind of alternate it, I think. He's not a bad looking baldy steer. But so how about we go over this weaning pen a little bit. Haven't really given a tour, but over in this corner we've got a big stock tank. I don't know how many gallons it holds. It's a big one. I think it's about 10 foot in diameter. But we got that ramp over there into that pond. Several years ago we spent thousands of dollars and had both these ponds cleaned out and rebuilt. And we put electric fences around them to keep the cows out of them so they don't ruin it. And we've got a ramp there, and over there where you can see those cows, we've got another ramp going into the pond, so it's limited access. Well, we've got a sump pump over there next to that ramp, and we come over here with our mule and a generator and pump water in here for these calves to drink. A little more cost effective than rural water. So our rural water around here is extremely expensive. Or it's not extremely expensive, but it's pretty high for most rural waters. But we got this little Quonset hut here. This used to be a hog lot, so that used to be for hogs. It's a good sized lot. I don't know what the dimensions are, but I'd say maximum capacity probably be around 40, 45 would probably be pretty tight. Over here we've got an automatic water, but we keep it closed off. We'll only use it if the weather gets down to freezing to where that stock tank could freeze. Or we do use it immediately after weaning, because these calves know what automatic waters are. So we'll use it immediately after so that they'll find water and have fresh, clean water, not pond water to drink. But yeah, I mean, that's the lot. Sun's shining over there, you can't really see. Over here's our bull pen, where our bull will live when he's not out with the cows. We don't run our bulls year round. They have a limited exposure time, and that's to expose those cows that are poor breeders or late breeders, and we can get rid of those. I want all my calves born in an extremely short period of time, and I want them all to look the same and grow the same and weigh the same. I want to be able to sell a identical, very uniform group of calves. So our bulls will run with cows for anywhere from no more than 60 days. I usually do about 50 days is usually about how long I will run a bull. But he's got a little shed there that they can get in. There's stock tanks over there that we water them out of. Right now we've just got a cow that was sick that we've been nursing back to health in there, because the bull's already been turned out with cows. But Anyways, I'll probably do another video when we go to sell these things and we take a final weight. And we'll see how they've gained overall and how they've gained since the last time I weighed them. But next year, this pen won't have any baldies. It'll just be balancers. In fact, this is the last group of baldy calves we'll have, because we got rid of that Hereford bull about a year ago. They've done all right. But as far as females go, I definitely prefer the balancers over the baldies. And my data shows that the balancers grow better. We've got our first balancer and baldy females in production. And they're over here. So for the past 3 years, I've collected data on balancer and baldy calves, comparing birth weights, weaning weights, post-weaning growth, and all that. And based upon that, we chose to stick with a balancer bull instead of the Hereford. And then we bought an Angus bull this past spring to breed heifers with. But now we're to the stage that we are comparing the baldy and balancer females, bred to the same bull. And we'll see how balancers and baldies compare as cows. See how those calves do, how the cows maintain condition, how well they breed back, and all that. And based upon that, that'll be our main determination on what we're going to stick with for the long-term future as far as bulls and breeding decisions and types of cows. Kind of early yet, the calves are pretty young. I didn't have any calving problems out of any of them. There's no difference there. The balancers had slightly lower birth weights, maybe 5 pounds on the average, but I mean, I think the balancers averaged around 70 and the baldies averaged somewhere around 75. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I'll make a separate video about them at some point. Anyways, talk to you guys later.